Another thing I found with the Prophet X is some of the bread and butter samples that you would expect from a machine like this aren't actually on board. I'm sure that'll be rectified with future packs by 8DO, but there is no pipe organ, for example, and I love pipe organ. Ennio Morricone's first score, Nightmare Castle, which is what I named this patch after, that was just littered with great pipe organ sounds, and I really think a pipe organ defines the sound of Gothic horror. So that's a really nice cinematic quality, but that's not a pipe organ. And when I had Alan Ripple over when we recorded Cannibal Lust, I played that for him, and he's like, if you didn't tell me that's not a pipe organ, I would have never guessed. How I came to that is pretty simple. So again, basic patch, and there's about 5 or 6 different types of Hammonds in here, so there's quite a variety of organ sounds, and that's great, but that's not the sound we're after. I actually like going for Hammond C. I think that sounds pretty, because you don't want the rotary speaker. That's not the sound we're going for. So I go Hammond C slow. You can have the rotary speaker completely off, but I think that sounds a bit dry. Just nice just to kind of have a little bit of movement. Yeah, it's just nice to have a little bit of movement there. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to the keyboard section again, and you're going to go to Hammond D long slow. So the first one's Hammond C long slow. Second one is Hammond D long slow. I'm going to bring it in the mixer. So as you can hear, it just layering those two Hammonds together, it really beefed up the sound a lot. But we can beef up a little bit more by tuning. You can tune these samples just as if they're analog oscillators. So I'm going to put the first Hammond all the way up to C4. That sounds, to my ears, that sounds like it's starting to have that pipe organ type of sound. But this is where I think the oscillator section really shines, because I always, like I said, I use the oscillators to assist the samples. I don't use them as the main sound. We're going to put them both in sine waves. Turn them up about halfway, and you're going to detune the first one all the way down to C0, and then you're going to tune the other one to C1. And it'll give you a nice low end. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It really, really beefed up the sound. So we went from a Hammond to a pipe organ in no time. Of course, what I like to do is just add a little bit of a delay on there. I usually sync it and put 16D. So a nice hall reverb as well. Put that amount to about 60, and that to me sounds perfect for Gothic horror. And what I did with my Nightmare Castle patch, which is what you can hear on my Carnage Castle track, which I'll link in the description. I layered with a choir. I actually increased the filter drive so it has a crackling. It almost sounds like an old film optical soundtrack's like about to break. So you can hear all these cracks and pops and the choir underneath. And on slider 1, I brought in some frantic violin scrapes. So it's perfect for old-time castles and dungeons, and very macabre sounding. Like it a lot. Another sample that I guess is missing is a sitar, which I'm sure will be remedied with future sound packs by 8Dio. I'm back to a basic patch, turn oscillator 1 down because I don't need it. I was speaking with Alan Howarth, and he said when he was doing... Alan Howarth was one of the synth programmers for John Carpenter back in the 80s. Did the scores from Escape from New York all the way to They Live. So he did all those scores for Mr. Carpenter in between. And for Big Trouble in Little China, he said that even though a 12-string acoustic doesn't sound or isn't an ethnic instrument, when you play it a certain way, it does sound a little bit ethnic. So it does have it could sound like a 12-string acoustic, but that's going to be the basis for our sitar sound. Now this I've never programmed before, so you're going to be seeing real life experimentation here with this sample. Now sitars usually have a bend quality to them. I'm going to use the auxiliary envelope to affect instrument 1's frequency. I'm going to take the auxiliary envelope's attack to about 20, increase the amp envelope accordingly. So I say about the amount to 10. But I don't want to bend all the time, so I'm going to put the auxiliary envelope's velocity on. So just when I hit hard, and that's starting to sound like a sitar to me. You have to excuse my playing. But it's starting to get there, for sure. Let's just see what else I can do to kind of... So it's starting to get there. Well, I would say let's put a bit of a flanger on it. Put the rate of the flanger to about 10. Depth to 48. Mix 64. Bring the amp envelope down maybe slightly. You have to really play with the amp envelope to really make sure it doesn't sound too like synthetic. I say about 9 or 10 should do it. Let's try putting some oscillators in there. Let's try it with a saw. No. No, I had that on Paul's Super Saw. Let's put... Yeah. Sine sounds good. That's a sine always sounds good when you layer it with a sample. So I'm not a sitar player, so I don't really know any East Indian scales or anything like that as of yet to demonstrate. But it's getting there. Let's try maybe playing with the resonance. Yeah, I put the resonance to 174, cut off at 117. So, I mean, it's not a perfect sitar, but you get the idea. Just to be able to take a basic 12-string acoustic guitar and manipulate it. But actually, let's put glide. Yeah, let's put glide. Actually, that sounds good. Glide with a fixed time to about halfway, around 61. So, like I said, we've taken a 12-string acoustic, turned it into a completely different instrument. It's not a perfect sitar, but with some tweaking, it'll get there. Maybe turn glide down a bit. So it'll get there.